Have you been having issues with the ring, accumulating an insane amount of bleed stacks whilst watching your poor allies chew through K-Corp ampules? Maybe even witnessing your allies die one by one whilst desperately trying to keep them alive only for them to get nuked. Well, that's what I'm here to help with. I'm here to assist anyone who's having trouble with the Ring Nursefather and their apprentice. In this, I've compiled what the fight actually is, the boss's abilities and passives, general team ideas, as well as compiling egos and a video of myself beating it if you need any extra hints. With that out of the way, hello, my name is Orca. I'm a Project Moon YouTuber and streamer. I stream Mirror Dungeons every day at 3:30 BST on twitch.tv/OrcaButStreaming, so feel free to drop by and say hi. Now, if you like the video, please like and subscribe so I can get the hint to make more of these. For the fight context, you'll be fighting against the Ring Apprentice Albina, and after a certain amount of time, the Ring Nursefather Kalisto will join in as well. During this fight, you get access to the K-Corp ampules, which will revive you on death. Once it revives you on death, it will consume a stack on all allies, meaning if a sinner dies, it will also affect another sinner's count. Notable thing about this fight is that Hohenheim and Alyssa will join you, though a big premise of the fight is wanting to keep them both alive as long as possible, as they too will consume your K-Corp ampules. The fight ends when Kalisto does a huge attack that staggers everyone but Alyssa. We'll start with Albina first when it comes to abilities and passives. She has 7 skills and 6 passives. Her skills and passives all revolve around her giving bleed to the target, and from there weakening them. Butcher Ribs is a 2-coin slash attack that will inflict 4 bleed, 1 fragile, and gains Albina 1 protection for the next turn. On use of it, if her target has 6 or more bleed, she will gain 1 additional coin power. Rotator Crush is similar to the first, where on hit it will inflict 2 bleed count, as well as 1 bind. Additionally, Albina will gain 1 haste next turn from this. Once more, if a target has 6 or more bleed, she will gain 1 clash power. Next is Tendon Tear, which it will inflict 6 bleed, add 1 bleed count, inflict 1 power down and give Albina 1 power up next turn. This one instead gives Albina 1 coin power for every 4 bleed on the target with a max stack of 2. Now onto the skills you want to watch out for. Fascia Hungers is an unclashable 3-coin envy attack. It will inflict 10 bleed, 2 bleed count and deal 5 SP to your sinner, on hit without cracking. This also gains her corpus ingredient. A good thing about this is that you'll want to be clashing with it with a high clashing skill. On a clash loss it will deal 80% less damage and the skill will not stagger the target. Her next skill is Repressed Flesh, an unbreakable 4-coin lust attack. I could be wrong about this, but during my fights I've only seen this clash with Hohenheim. But here's the important bit. If you have a sinner who isn't clashing with anything, do an unopposed attack onto the skill. When you do, Albina will gain Impact's Rattled Armor. The unopposed attack is once per sinner, so make sure you use your weakest skills against this. Impact Rattled Armor is a debuff applied only in this condition and it has a max stack of 3. Will lose Albina 10 final power for every stack when using Repressed Flesh. If her maximum stacks were achieved, being 3, she will become staggered in her next turn. Lastly, Albina's defenses are quite annoying. She has Exhibition Arrangements, that when she's hit by the attacker's last skill, it will inflict 1 bleed count onto the attacker. This includes multi-target ego skills. A good way around this I've found is by offsetting it with your own defense. Her second defense is Iron Curtain. This takes her passive and multiplies it by 20, and cannot be disabled from offsetting. When she does this, please do not clash with her. Use it as an opportunity to clash with the adds she has and take them out. Onto her passives. When Albina has 2 corpus ingredients, she will gain Outwork Fascia. When she gains this, she will gain 4 power up and will use the skill Repressed Flesh. She takes 30% less HP and SP damage from burn, rupture, sinking, as well as 50% less damage from bleed, as well as 30% less stagger raise from tremor. If Albina isn't staggered, she gains 2 protection and 10 defense level up, as well as a shield based on her current HP. Every time she uses Repressed Flesh, she will gain 1 fewer protection and 5 fewer defense level up, as well as reduce her shield gained. What's more, when she isn't staggered, when hit by an attack, Albina will inflict 2 bleed onto the attacker, as well as reflect 20% of the damage back to them, though this will not stagger the attacker. With that out of the way, we'll now get on to Kalisto. Once more, I'll go through his skills and passives. He has a total of 8 skills in total, with one of them being the skill that he uses with Gentle Fight. Kalisto is an annoying enemy who takes the greatest pleasure out of taking your sinners out of the fight. He does this with a very long named skill called Installation Out Number 3 Improvised Ribcage. This is an unclashable target fixed skill. It does not trigger defense skills and there is absolutely nothing you can do about it. It deals a fixed amount of damage which increases by 1 coin power for every 8 bleed you have. After it's used, your sinner will be staggered and will be turned into a corpus theatre on the next turn. All you have to do next turn is make sure you attack the sinner who's trapped, or hope that Hohenheim or Alyssa will do it for you. His next skill is Anatomize, which is an unbreakable 2 coin greed skill. It gains 80% less damage if it's a clash loss, so you already want to be using whatever powerful skill you can against it to win. On hit, it will inflict bleed and fragile into the target who's clashing to gain Kalisto 1 protection for the next turn. Gather Ingredients Bloodbath Object is one more and unbreakable 2 coin greed skill. It deals 80% less damage on a clash loss and prioritizes corpus theatres. It deals more damage the more bleed there is on the target, and once more inflicts him power down while gaining power up himself. Kalisto's next skill is one of the most wordy and important. Tibia's Melody, Anatomization of the Unanatomized by the Anatomized. Wow, that's a mouthful. The TLDR of this skill is that you want to hit it up to 3 times with unopposed attacks from each of your sinners. It will gain 3 power down and 3 plus coin drop, 1 for each skill. After it will do 60% less damage, which is still a lot, and gain Kalisto 5 SP, 1 protection, 1 damage up and inflict 3 bleed. Oh, how we love the flesh and blood is not something I would say, and is instead one of the most prioritized skills you should clash with. It will naturally target Albina, which, if it hits, it'll grant her 6 damage up. You want to avoid this at all costs, so please prioritize and clash with it. On a loss, it'll gain Kalisto 4 damage down, which is amazing for how much damage he does. Onto his defense, Curating the Exhibition. This is a simple evade that grants him 2 assist defense at the combat start. On use of it, the attacker will not lose bleed count before the attack ends. This is a fairly annoying skill and I do recommend doing whatever you can to offset this with one of your sinners. On the chance you cannot, for whatever reason, Kalisto will also lose 1 assist defense on each class start per skill, so as long as you clash with him, this will be fine. Next is the assist defense skill, which is a 2 coin clashable wrath counter. On hit, it inflicts 1 fragile and 1 power down, and will gain Kalisto 1 power up and 1 protection. Lastly is his final skill. After Kalisto uses this, the fight will have 1 more turn, then it'll end. He uses this when he gets to 50% HP. It's called Closing Time Installation Art Number 1, Your Flesh and Bones, as the gallery seats. A grand name for an annoying skill, and you could do nothing about it once more. At the end of the round, it'll stagger all of your sinners, so just wait for that to happen and soon the counter will be over. For Kalisto's passives, I'll group them together so they can be easier to understand. Firstly, Kalisto uses a skill. He will gain 30 corpus ingredient, bones, and 1 corpus ingredient, blood. This will be for every target who was damaged. When he reaches 206 bones and 5 blood, he will gain Artwork Tibia, which grants him 4 power up and 2 slash power up. Once he uses this, he will use Tibia's Melody. When Tibia expires, Kalisto and Albina will gain 2 offense up and 2 defense up. At every turn's end, Kalisto will inflict Ingredient Shredding Wound onto a sinner who's had the highest speed. This gains them 2 offense level down for every time they use a skill, which caps it 3 times per turn. The main idea of how you want to play this fight is you want to protect Alyssa and Hohenheim. First, you want to clash with all the adds while you can. Whilst you see Alyssa and Hohenheim doing a clash that's anything less than favourable, have your sinners take over it. Try to take care of the adds, but don't worry about doing anything past staggering them. Eventually you'll wear them down. When Albina does her big attack, she'll only use that 1 skill, so make sure at least 1 sinner is targeting the attack. Luckily, when Alyssa is targeting this skill too, she'll add a counter onto the damage being lower. Continue this until Kalisto joins the fight. From there you'll want to prioritize killing Albina with making sure to clash with Kalisto's bigger skills. If Hohenheim and Alyssa are, you always want to make sure that how we love the flesh and blood is never targeting Albina. From here, keep going until they use their big attacks. Luckily, only 1 does it at a time, so make sure you take your time, making sure at least 1 or 2 sinners attacks are on lowering the power of that skill. Keep this up until Albina runs away, and then focus Kalisto, who will be much easier to fight alone. You only have access to 3 sinners during this fight, those being Faust, Sinclair, and Ishmael. I'll name a good few IDs for this fight as well as some useful egos for the fight, but please note if you don't have any of these, don't worry, you can make do with anything. Starting with Faust, good IDs for her are Malfaust, Index Faust, and LCE Ego Arda Blossom Star Faust. If you're using Enclair, you can also go Grip Faust. Of course, this means when it comes to ego, fluid attack is a must for this long fight, as well as its alternative and much rarer ego command Meltdown. For Sinclair, some good ideas for him are Heisho Sinclair, Enclair, and Sinclair, though some honourable mentions would be Philip Clare and Thumb Sinclair. For his egos, Lantern Sinclair is nice as it provides some healing, and if you're going Enclair and Grip first, Hexnail is always nice. Lastly, for Ishmael, a good set of ideas of family hierarchy candidate Ishmael, Zule Ishmael, and of his rep Ishmael. Regarding her egos, most are good, but as a standout option, Ring Beat heals Ishmael and is able to inflict gluttony for agility. In conclusion, this fight revolves around making sure Kalisto doesn't buff Albina. It also revolves around protecting Hohenheim and Alyssa whilst making sure you slowly chip away at Kalisto and Albina's HP. If you've enjoyed this, please make sure to like and subscribe so I can make more. Lastly, I've attached my clip of when I fought the battle in full, so if you want to see my choices for the fight, please go ahead.